Commissioner Rios is not coming today, so.
Can you go on this one and check the cases? In case maybe someone.
Pero, well, we shouldn't be using anything. It's gonna be a blanket. I don't know if we can, because it's about
He
policy.
was telling me that they asked me someone to text him.
I'll definitely.
Like how I respond.
Commissioner Rios is not gonna be here today, so.
Steps.
So we're 10 o'clock, buddy? All right, then we're gonna go ahead and start this meeting. Today is the 27th day of April 2020. It's already 10 a.m. We're gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order. Item 1.2 is roll call. We're all here, Mr. Garcia, except Commissioner Riegas. Item 1.3 is the pledge of allegiance and the salute to the Texas flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We salute the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag, pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Item 1.4 is testimonial oath of presenters. I need for everybody to know that anybody that makes any comment to this court does so on the penalties of perjury. That is, you're under oath when you do so. Item 1.5 is public comments. Anybody in the audience with a public comment? Yes, sir.
I have a small one, but, no way that I do disrespect this court, but I have in my house, all the flooring down, I do that, everything, I would like to dress more professionally than this, but the one more rope I hit outside, so I just wrapped it again, but I do like to dress more professionally than I did today.
Okay. Problem.
Okay, thank you.
Sir. He says that he's working on some items in his house and he didn't dress appropriately today. So,
We have everything outside, Commissioner.
all right, so we'll take you out of order so you can go back to work.
I have we're gonna see if we can build a, what do you call it? Un techito
Okay,
for, the fire station,
okay,
where the barbecue pits are.
okay.
So, I talked to Mr. Estrada and we're gonna see how much, who to contact for the permit.
Discount metals, this is what we get them most of
We're
the
gonna
time.
get some quotes, so.
We have an account there, so we get your quotes. Discount metals are usually the cheapest. But if you need any help, let us know.
Thank you, sir.
All right, anyone else with a public comment?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
on the lights on the streets,
On the lights on the street.
I would have put some lights also on Patoa subdivision. How do we account for those? Do we have to create a new account to pay those lights or?
You mean, how do you pay for them, is that what you're asking?
Well, I know that we have to sign for the electrical part, but there's no account under to say for lights like the Patoa subdivision or anywhere else.
Okay,
And
when,
now they're asking for everything that we're doing, so I wanna know.
I don't understand what you mean by saying there's no account.
Well, let's say for example, Commissioner Noguera
Uh-huh.
put her lights on the street and they're $20 a piece. And there's no account on the budget that says for
Oh.
lights on the
So
streets.
it's just general maintenance of the streets, you can use it under general maintenance. If you're asking, you want a line item so that you can have money there to pay for the lights, well, that's, you do
Well, I
that.
don't know, because see, now lately everything is changing over there and I'm lost to where they wanna put whatever they wanna put. Like for supplies, now they're asking for an account, I don't have an account for supplies, like for shovels, wheelbarrows and all of that. And I was gonna
But
explain it again.
don't say account, say line item, because when you say an account, I'm thinking that you talking
Well,
about an accountant, I want an accountant. No, you're talking about, they want a specific line item where you can get the money from.
I don't know what they want, but that's why I'm asking.
¿Onta Carlitos? Christine,
Yes, sir.
find me Carlitos.
That's what I'm asking you, because everything's changing, I don't know.
Well, for the last 20 years, well, not 20 years, I've been here 20 years. The last 17 years, at the jailhouse, I've been telling them they have supplies and then they have supplies. And then they take the money for supplies like detergent, things of that sort, out of the supplies for operating supplies for the computers and stuff like that, paper. So they take money from the supplies until they deplete it, and then they go into the other supplies. And I've been telling them, give me a specific line item, office supplies or cleaning supplies. And 20 years they haven't done it, so I don't know. So it's all pumped up. I understand the frustration, but the only thing I can suggest is that when you buy something, just call them and tell them where you want me to get the money from. The supplies, tell me which number, because the line item you want me to, I think all the line items have their specific number, right? Okay, so just tell them.
Well, we have is for the roads, the repairs, and that's it, and now they're asking me for, they were taking it out of supplies for the office supplies, it's something long there. I don't know, I'm just tired. Yeah, for vehicles, that are not. No, just for the lawnmowers and all that, not for shovels and all. And then if we put it on the park, they're gonna tell us they don't.
Take it, why don't you take it out of utilities? You have utilities, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, then you need to create a line item for utilities. And come budget time, just say, okay, now I have lights, I want a line item for my lights. Ponele dinero ahí. Now, I want a line item so when I buy shovels, when I buy stuff like that, I want a specific line item for it. And then just get those line items. That's all you have to do, come budget. Right now, it's gonna be, I guess you could do it right now, but it's gonna be difficult, now you have to transfer money. But anyone else with a public comment?
Judge,
Yes.
we've been having a lot of illegal dumping in our county roads. Selena was able to catch 3,
Okay,
so I hope when the JPs receive those tickets, those citations, that they.
what was this?
This was in Carrizo Hill and the other one was in Atherton and 1556. So we cite them,
In Carrizo Hill. Where's about in Carrizo Hill?
5057 and Tobias Drive.
Ah. So,
It's getting on hand, we've gotten several and it's bad.
okay, it'd be nice if we can, order them to wear uniform that says, I am a litterer, and put them to clean this stuff and charge them a fine.
It's bad.
Yeah, it is bad. The other day, we had a couple of people in Carrizo Hill, so we called them up and we gave them a deal, said, "Look, clean it up, you're gonna get a ticket, but we're gonna give you a break on getting a dumpster, so, we're gonna give you a little discount, so that you can clean it up." So they got a ticket and then we gave them a dumpster, less than what we usually charge, and so that they can put it all in the dumpster and go pick it up. That's what we did to that person. I don't know what the JP is gonna do with the ticket, but, that's how we motivated them to clean it up. So, be creative, if you suspect somebody doing that, send them our way and we'll work.
These were the landowners.
Those are the landowners.
And I was like, really? So they were like, well, we can't take it. I said, you know, just give them a ticket, I'm not gonna argue, and I'm already fed up with it. Give them a ticket the way it's supposed to be done, and we're gonna pay for it.
Good. Anyone else? All right, then, we'll move on to item. Let's get the JP out of here, because he needs to go do some stuff like this. 2.3, is that all you have, Judge? Your report is all you have?
Item, 2.3.
Which one?
2.3, sir.
2.3, okay. We have discussion and appropriation concerning approval to hire deputy clerk position for JP Precinct 1, Precinct 2, effective immediately, okay? Motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? Just let us know, when they start and so we can know which, or he, whoever it is.
Should be starting May 1st.
Okay? Done. Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All that opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.6 is approval of minutes of regular meeting of April 14, 2020. There is a motion to approve by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, subject to any stated corrections.
Second.
There is a second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Do we have any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
All that opposed? That motion carries. 2.1 is bonds, Mario, do we have any bonds? Thank you, sir. So we have two bonds. We have, the first one is for Jose Pepe Galvan, and he's our constable, and for Carlos Pereira, he is our auditor.
So,
Motion made by Commissioner Alonso Carmona to approve.
Second.
There's a second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Do we have any questions? Any opposition to Carlos's bond? All those in favor?
aye.
All that oppose? Motion carried. 2.22, 2.4, 1.6. La lista, eso fue lo que se. Dispute. 2.2 is discussion and appropriate action concerning monthly report from JP Precinct 1, Ms. Sonia Guerrero Perez for the month of March 2020. 2.4 is discussion of and appropriate action concerning monthly report from JP Precinct 2, Mr. Alberto Esquivel for the month of March 2020. 2.5 is discussion and appropriate action concerning the monthly report from JP Precinct 3, Ms. Leticia Hernandez for the month of March 2020. All those reports were contained in the packet. Subject to any questions, I'll entertain a motion to.
So moved.
There's a motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba to approve,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries. Oh, I missed the monthly report from JP Precinct 4, Mr. Alfredo Martinez for the month of March 2020.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries. We have 2.7 and 2. You have 2.7 and 2.8, Ms. Mari?
Yes, sir.
We have 2.7 and 2.8. 2.7 is a monthly report which is contained in your packet. And 2.8 is discussion and appropriate and action consideration and approval to accept credit cards, credit card payments through certified payments for district and county clerk's offices. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Judge, I have a contract that should be in the packet in reference to credit card payments through certified payments.
Okay.
And the reason that we're looking into going with this company is because they're fully integrated with our case management program. They do not charge anything, any fees to the county, and they provide all the services as far as getting us integrated, and they create the website where people can go into the district clerk and county clerk's websites, and they pick and choose what it is they want to make a payment for.
Okay, Mr. Carter, you wanted to make a comment?
Yes, sir. We already have a contract with a, we already have a contract with a credit company. And so this would be outside of that contract. And I did contact LGS, because nobody has contacted Forte or LGS on this matter, having it done integrated, and that is something that can be done. But we, like I said, we already have a contract with it.
Okay, so, is Forte, can Forte be integrated with our system?
Yes. Because that's what we've done with Forte, with the other, like, the other JPs. And for instance, here and in Salt. And they're different companies, both different software companies.
And will they prepare everything that she's talking about?
No.
No, they will not.
No, well, I contacted LGS and I contacted Forte, Forte said, yes, they can. But they were supposed to get back with me on that. They didn't get back with me on Friday.
Okay.
Yes,
Come up, I can't hear you.
I-
Yes, I'm doing-
Yes.
come-
I've spoken with LGS and LGS only goes through certified payments. I have contacted Forte in the past, and this was when we first initially got Forte. And they don't merge their reports, so it would be separate reports for us to work with and submit because they're not fully integrated.
Well, they're not fully integrated right now, but that's something that can be done. I mean, you talk, because like I said, I talked to LGS, they were gonna get back with me, but they didn't Friday. I didn't see it until Friday.
So if we would get Forte, then we provide all the services that Mari needs?
We already have Forte.
Okay, I understand, but if we get Forte to get integrated,
Oh, okay.
will they provide all the services that she needs?
Well, that's what we're looking to get, to have LGS get with Forte to integrate them.
And would it cost us any additional to get this lady, this other company certified? Does it cost us any money?
No, sir.
No, neither does
Not-
Forte.
not
Forte
at all.
doesn't cost us anything.
And
They're
the,
both the same thing. They don't charge the county, they charge it to the.
Okay, so then what would be the harm in just getting this that are already certified?
Because we already have a contract with, we already went out for bids on,
But you say they don't charge, what's the use of having the bid? Doesn't matter if they don't charge.
because they charge the customers. I mean, we are giving them the service.
Okay, then, can we get certified, if nothing else to meet what Forte charges, if there is a fee? Can we do it that way?
Oh, that was another thing. I think when we did go out for bids, certified was higher to the customer than Forte.
Also, they participated in our
I think
bidding?
so. I think they did.
Well, let's do this, why don't we approve it subject to you getting that information? Now, we're gonna have to come back, you'll have to come back.
Okay.
Okay, I would suggest we approve the, getting certified to come in and, integrating their payment plan options or whatever it's called, the act payments, is that what you call them?
Credit card payment.
I guess credit card payment processing, with certified, subject to either they being on the same charging level to our customers as Forte, and, or that they will create everything that you're talking about, which is, you're talking about they're going to give you the machines, and they're going to give you the website, and they're going to, so the only thing we need to know now is how much they're gonna charge our customers. Okay?
And I understand because that's what we try to do with all the other companies like JPs. So when people get on, it goes directly to the fine or whatever the case is. And so, I didn't know that LGS was.
Mario, are you okay with this?
that's why we've never accepted credit card payments, because that was the biggest issue, because they're not integrated with LGS. So how long have we had Forte?
Yeah, but the thing is, they can charge it, you just have to go in there and enter it.
Can we just agree with that? Yeah, as long as they meet our payment plans, if they're charging 2 pennies or 3% or whatever, but they charge by percentage to whoever pays. If they charge the same, I don't know. But if Forte in 3 years, how long have we've had Forte for how long?
But you can accept it, the thing is you have to go in there and enter it, the payment. You can't accept it, there isn't a problem.
In LGS, if somebody chooses to pay with a credit card, we can receive it out of LGS. There's nothing separate that we have to do. As
Right.
Forte goes, you have to enter a separate receipt in the Forte website. And at the end of the week, at the end of the month, you have to add those credits, and it's a separate report. It's
Right.
not fully integrated
It's
with
not fully integrated, but
LGS.
you can accept it.
And that's what I don't want, because that's gonna be additional.
Well, I would
work for
say
our
that if
office.
Forte's had been our contract person, then they should have taken care of the matter by now.
I don't know if anybody talked to LGS or your.
I've spoken to LGS.
Okay,
because our revenue would be higher if we were to be accepting credit card payments.
Well, but you can't, that's not true, because you can't accept it right now. Yes, you can accept the payment, you just have to make sure it's separate.
I want something that's fully integrated with our case management program,
Okay.
and they are not.
Let's do it that way, let's approve the, to accept credit card payments through certified payments for the district and county clerks, subject to us, making sure that certified payment charges the same as 4K. And that, they are fully integrated with LGS, and subject to if 4K can provide that services to that extent, then we'll reconsider.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Rolgado,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any other discussion?
I do, Judge. I have Judge Abascal scheduled a few hearings for Friday.
Okay, I talked
How
to
are we
him,
gonna handle that?
I talked to him about those specific issues, and, his response is that he's been required to do certain things in person, not by Zoom. And I think I want to misquote, but he said, anything dealing with liberties is considered essential. Anything dealing with, attorney generals, CPS cases, or essential. And he mentioned something else. So there are certain things that he is required to do in person. So wear your masks, that's all I can tell you, and use a lot of hand sanitizer. Because we're not first responders, but we're considered part of the essential services that we have to provide to the general public at our own risks. And if we don't want to take those risks, I'm sorry to say, then we have to do something else. Okay, so
I was just curious what,
just
our
make sure
standpoint was on that.
make sure you wear your masks, and make sure that, you have a lot of hand sanitizer. And fortunately for us, Maverick County doesn't have that big of a problem.
Well, we've got people coming in from San Antonio and the Houston area.
I understand, yeah, but, I'm assuming that those persons are caring for their purses so that they don't spread the virus. Concerns, because when I found out, he said one of the cases were, I think one of my boys, so I called him and said, what, he told me, so I said, okay. I'm not doing it.
I know.
Okay.
And Judge Flores is doing hers through Zoom video, so I was just curious what your take was on that.
Yeah. I prefer not to, but, you know, like, I don't know if you can refuse to open your office, I don't know about that, but I would try. She has to do it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Do you have
Come on.
hand sanitizer?
I have a hand sanitizer, yes. Yes,
If not, I have some.
thank you.
Thank you, and we're gonna approve 2.8 and 2.7, at the same time.
Also,
We already have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Garcia. 2.9 is Mr. Garcia's report, it's in the packet, if you have any questions, make sure you ask Mr. Garcia. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve his report.
So moved.
There's a motion by Commissioner Rolcao to approve the report,
Second.
second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries by unanimous vote. 2.10 is County Clerk's Office Renewal Xerox Contract Lease Agreements for 2 copiers, model C8035H, being $183.37 per month, and model C8045H, which is $191.48 per month.
Judge?
Yes, sir.
There's only one copy.
Okay.
The 80.
The 8845, so that we're scratching off the 33, okay?
Yes.
All right?
So moved.
There's a motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba to approve.
Second.
There's a second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, and like always, we're gonna send this to our county attorney for consideration. Knowing all that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, same sign. Motion carries. 2.11 One is a monthly report from the county commissioners. As always, those reports are contained in our packets. If anybody in the audience wishes to have a copy of those reports, we'll be glad to provide you same upon request. All those in favor?
Aye.
All that opposed? Motion carries. 2.12 is approved to move R&B Precinct 4 part-time employee to full-time effective April 14, 2020. What do we got, Ms.?
I have a part-timer that I bumped them up to full-time as of April 14.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Juan Carmona to approve,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All that opposed? Motion carries. 2.13 is consideration and approval for R&B Precinct 4 to build a restroom at the county park in Catarina, Texas. Commissioner and I had a discussion about this because he was concerned about our employees when they're in Catarinas, when they need to use the services, the restroom services. There's a lot of people at the one stop, they come from Laredo, and she has a concern for her employees. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know how long we're going to be under the, I guess, the threat of coronavirus in Dimmit County, but we are going to build those buildings that we want plan to build for the commodities in Catarina's temporary building. One of them, we were planning on, after we finish using it there, moving it to and make it in a public place in Catarina, like Mario requested, and we're gonna make it ready for, it's gonna have an air conditioning and it's going to have, well, both are gonna have air conditioning, and they're both gonna have the ability to be moved. So, we're gonna build a restroom in that one, and that one we're planning on taking it to Catarina. So if you don't mind waiting, I don't know how long the JP courtroom is, I don't know how long this thing is going to be. If you wanna build a small restroom at the park, I guess, just, if you have money in your budget, not get it as COs, and let's get something going. If you think it's of high importance, and we can put some little, maybe his and hers restroom there at the park, and then we can lock it and you can use it.
We can do it when, it's just my guys, my thing is, we're in Diamond H and they have to come all the way to Asherton. At lunch, I told them to come back to the office, 'cause I told them they're not going to use those restrooms.
Okay, but if you're gonna make a little restroom, make it his and hers. You can leave it there for the little party. If anybody wants to make a little party there, when this thing is over with, they can use the restrooms. But I would just keep them closed until somebody says, I need to use the little park, and then we give them the key or whatever. When they come in and say, pay their fee or whatever it is, they return them a little key to use a little park there, and then we can give them the key to use the restrooms. Otherwise, there's no telling what's gonna happen. But I don't have a problem right now with our employees. We can probably do. You know what?
Mine go in the garage. When we're in Diamond H, or we're over there on Henderson, they go into the garage and do their necessities. They don't come all the way with big rolls to go.
I told them they're not going to the restroom at the stores, so
Right.
they've been going to the
Well-
store, they've been going to the stores, and with all this that's going on, you know, they've been using the restroom, like you said, yeah, number one. But for number two, I said, no, not, they've been getting a lot of rattlesnakes and all that, and I said, I'm not,
That's what I was gonna say, it's a hazard.
That's where we come into problems, that's why I broke that down on the clarification of the vehicles. You know, once we get there, I'll address that, but that's one of the problems we're having.
Okay, so you're talking about using the vehicle to, I don't know, Carlos, you're saying that we have to pay income tax for using a vehicle to go to the store, it's declared for personal use, so going to the restroom is personal use? So are you're saying that they can't use the car to go to the restroom?
I don't know.
my
I don't
guys,
think so.
when we were
Huh?
looking
I
at,
don't think so.
when we
get to 214.
That's why I wanna
Is there a
see,
motion on
Okay,
213?
all right, we'll get to the, yes, sir?
Is there a motion on 213?
No,
All right, no action, so we're on 214?
yeah, no, we're still in 213.
Well, that's,
I just need to,
We-
I need to build a restroom, yes or no, that's all I'm saying.
yeah, well, your discussion's on 213 or you,
214.
oh, no, okay. It's not your turn yet, so.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking, is there a motion on 213?
All right, okay, look, I don't know, if that's what you're talking about, the cars, right, that's what you're saying, okay. I don't know that, using the car to go to the restroom when you're on the brush is considered for personal use, I guess, because they're employees, but I don't think that the IRS contemplated that as being something that you charge for income tax, right? So, I don't see it a problem, but I look at it this way, if I feel comfortable going in the brush, well, I go in the brush. But if I don't feel comfortable going in the brush, I'm not gonna force my employees to. Because I think that when you have a workplace, it is our duty and our responsibility to provide them with a place to go to.
let's put it this way then, let's rent out a porta potty.
Okay, that's what we talked about that, but,
And I'll go ahead and provide them the porta potty and they can go where they're at.
yeah, that's usually what,
It's very easy to solve. But my point, well, when I get to work, other
We discussed the porta potty,
Yeah,
the porta potty too.
yeah,
We're
but-
gonna pay monthly fees and all that stuff. Go
Well,
back to,
for
For how long? We don't know how long it's gonna last. Maybe you want it next month.
yeah, but since we're already gonna put a restroom there, might as well start on it now.
yeah,
But
because,
Now, unless if our office is take longer, I mean, I say we can wait, but I don't know how long it's gonna take for us to build the office in Ashland. Because we're gonna build those two portable buildings in my yard, so we can demolish the other two. And then move one of those buildings or two buildings to the park for
Just
renovation purposes.
Commissioner, I also had the same kind of feeling that you, but I grew up in the woods. I grew up, and not everybody grew up the same way I grew up, so I don't have too much of a problem, right? Make do with what's there. But there's some people that not, and we cannot tell our guys, our people, our employees, well, you have to do it this way, because it's not.
Judge,
So-
then if you put up.
So if I have the way to solve the problem, and it's still gonna help us because it's gonna be at the park. So at the park, it's gonna be used later on anyway. But now the problem still comes out, they have to go from their workplace where they're working to the park, okay? So I don't think that that's what's contemplated. I really don't have a problem with building the restrooms. At one point, we were still talking about building, she had talked about building the restrooms there sometime back for the park. So that's the only thing that I'm saying, so I don't have a problem with whatever it is.
Because if we put a porta potty, every time we're gonna go work on another road, you're gonna hire that company to go and move.
Well, no, if we were gonna do that, I'm gonna buy one and you guys put it on a trailer and you take it with you wherever you go. That's another option. You buy a little trailer with a porta potty, but now you're gonna be in the porta potty cleaning business. So you all are gonna have to figure out, I don't know, if you can take those porta potties to the sewer plant.
Well, that you can take them over.
Sewer plant in Big Well, sewer plant in Catarina, well, not in Catarina, right, pero sewer plant in Cheto, and then just clean them out. Because I think all you do is just clean them out, and then nomás le ponen disinfectant, they sell the whole thing that you can. And, because that's what, we used to work out in the field, we used to have a little porta potty in a trailer. We'd take it to the work site, we worked a lot on the major highways in Illinois, and we'd take our little porta potty, but we would take it to somebody else to clean it, or we would do the cleaning, because we didn't have the facilities. But every time anybody went to the workplace, they would take their porta potty. That's another option, that's what you want. Pero ahí en Catarina, we still need a little restroom. But if you wanna buy your porta potties, I'm for that. Okay, so, but in this matter, do we wanna build, I don't have a problem if she wants to build a park, a little restroom there in the park.
What's wrong with that?
Okay. So, Ms. Commissioner, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Second.
There's a second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Do we have any other discussion? Then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries by unanimous vote. 2.14 is discussion and appropriate action, clarification on the use of county vehicles. Is that what you were talking about, then?
Yes, but that's Commissioner's motion. I
That
bet
was
it's
yours. I could've- That's the one you were talking about? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna open the floor for discussion for Commissioner.
Judge, if you don't mind, I would like to get it in executive session if it's gonna be needed. Just the way we started off, I would like to have it in executive session, that way, because you have, advised us not to mention precincts or who, and I can't say your courts are doing it, or mine are doing it, or other people's are, in executive session we can.
I don't know.
I would prefer it in executive session.
Can we have can have this item in executive session? I think it's only for, personnel matters, attorneys, contracts.
It's not, is it involving a certain employee doing a certain action? And then is there notice to that employee?
No, if they bring it up, I can't say their names, because we're in open forum.
Well, don't say their name, just say this department and this person.
But you said not to say this department is doing
Oh,
it, or the
no,
other
no.
department.
I don't have a problem with the department, you just can't name.
Okay, all right.
I don't have a problem naming individuals of 214.
I don't either, but whatever.
And my issue of 214, and I come to the court's, judge's office to inquire about it or let you know, is, and I've already talked to sheriff and I've talked to the chief, these, birthday parades that they're having, you know, the last one, and then they make the mistake of doing them in my neighborhood. They had 7 patrol cars, about 5 AEP vehicles, with sirens and everything during the day. A fire truck involved in the last one, and that's a liability to the county. I told them they shouldn't be doing that, and it's also an issue of county property.
Okay, so you have a problem with, so they did those 7 vehicles in, was it like a parade type deal?
Yes. They started at the meat market, and there's about 20 cars. There was 7 that I counted on the video, Dimmit County patrol vehicles. And then about 5 to another 7 AEP, electrical company vehicles, and then one of our county fire trucks, plus members of the public.
So, are you saying that we can't do that like for homecoming and all stuff now?
No, those are put on by the city and do a formal application to participate. People are either calling the sheriff's office and saying, we want to do this, or can you escort her up to the parade? Now, the last comments I saw, or told about is, now everybody says, well, we're gonna do it for everybody. For every, young kid that has a birthday, sometimes we're gonna do a birthday parade and escort to whatever they want to do.
Well, I can see your point, but I've seen it done in San Antonio 2 or 3 times, but,
And,
you know,
represent San Antonio, and if they wanna get in trouble out there, because one of those vehicles I almost backed into because they, instead of turning with the rest of the parade, it was unmarked black SUV from the sheriff's department, they came straight, down my street, and I'm just scared that he's gonna turn the other way, and I'm backing out from lunch, coming back, and there he goes, right, coming right in front of me, and he was a block away when I last saw him. But, I even had one neighbor, and that was the
well, let me
second.
ask you this, Mr. Sosa, is it illegal?
It's a misuse of county property. What's the county purpose?
Provide, I guess, the sense of security for the public, provide public service to keep safe, the people that, because we cannot keep somebody from having a little parade.
If they wanna do private parades, then that's their business. I'm not saying,
So,
if a family wants to drive by a neighborhood, but when you have 7 Dimmit County patrol vehicles, one, and the parade led by the captain, and the second was the investigator. Because they stopped by the house and delivered presents to the little boy. And I'm not against that, help them out, but the liability of the county is my concern. And one of them I saw kids hanging out of windows. What if one of those kids falls down and we're leading that parade, an unofficial parade? They're gonna come after the county. It's an
Okay,
unsanctioned parade.
if you believe that that's, illegal, then I guess, so we can do it to the sheriff.
I'm already talking about it, and I think he's in agreement with it. And I talked to the chief, because his fire truck was involved.
don't see it as a problem, but other than the liability part, but.
How many cases we have in this community? If everybody.
I see that I see as a problem, because everybody's gonna want it done.
I can understand one vehicle, but that even neighbors walking by said, what a misuse of county property. And that first parade, I was sitting outside because I was working in the yard, the truck from 19th Street, just about to 49th Street, went back in reverse all the way to 20th Street. And there was a line of cars behind him. He would have hit one of those cars.
Yeah.
He went back in reverse, and then he turns up and turns his sirens and leaves the parade.
I'll talk to the sheriff about it. I don't think it's illegal, but I don't think it's practical.
I don't think it's illegal either, but the liability,
Because everybody's gonna want.
everybody's gonna want one, and then how do we please the entire public? I mean, we can't please them all the time, but I'd rather, hurt
No,
the
and I think they did a couple in San Antonio, and one of them was, the guy had, the little boy, I think he was a little boy, had like cancer. Okay, I can see.
I can understand special occasions, but just, but
Especially,
here's the other catch, Judge. The two parades that I'm aware of, they were for either former employees, children, or relatives of employees from the sheriff's department. Are we gonna be selective and just people from the sheriff's department?
well, no, if he's gonna do it for everybody, but like I said, it starts being impractical for him to do stuff like do that, but I can, if it's not illegal, if it's a special case, I can see, but if we start doing it just for anybody, we might have a problem. Well, he might have a problem, because they're gonna want him.
If there's an accident and we're leading that parade, the county's gonna have a problem.
We probably could, we'll be dragged, we might not have a problem, but we'll be dragged.
Potential liability,
Yeah.
and of course, I think they will breach the immunity issue on that because it wasn't a public purpose.
I'll talk.
I think he's gonna bring him, I've spoken to him.
Yeah.
Spoken to
All
him
right.
also.
So that's one of the issues for the use of the vehicles, and the other issue that is the one that you have, and I don't know entirely exactly what.
I just wanna know if we're gonna follow protocol or not. I've had, the people that are in Big 12, they don't go to their house to eat, they bring their lunch and they eat there at the office. Now, what is the rule? All I want is clarification, Mr. B, what is you want us to do?
No,
Because you were the one that brought this up, and I just want, and the deal is that some of the employees might go in their trucks for a break or whatever. What happens if they get in an accident? Is the county gonna cover them with the workers' comp and all of that?
I know, but this is, basically they're supposed to be following whatever the policy says, right? They're supposed to be following whatever the policy says, not what I clarify.
So what is the policy?
Oh, okay. Personal use of county vehicles, equipment, supplies, tools, shall not be permitted. If personal use of county vehicles permitted, the employee will be required to keep a load of all personal miles driven, including to and from work. These personal miles will be taxed to the current IRS tax in accordance with IRS rules and regulations.
So is your concern, that they use their personal vehicle, once they took the enterprise of going to the store or to the restaurant to pick up a sandwich or whatever, then at that point it becomes personal use? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
Basically.
So, is that what,
That's what I understood, because, that's what I see. I mean, if they can go to the store, by all means, let me know, because I suspended two of mine for going to the store to work, Okay? Now, if we're all allowed to do it, let's all do it then.
okay, and were they go to the store for the purpose of buying something to eat?
To eat.
Okay, so Do you think that's, what the IRS contemplate by the rule?
Well, that would be, I guess, the equivalent of going out to, taking it to a restaurant. Yeah.
So let me ask you a dumb question here. If I'm going to Uralco and I pass right in front of Oasis, my favorite place. It's right there off the highway, and I drive in there, so I have to claim that 0.100 tenth of a mile to the IRS?
I would consider it, I would not consider it, but I don't know what, I mean, the treasurer's the one that's supposed to keep it, not me.
Well, okay, but I guess you're the one that brought it up, but so,
No, he's,
I brought it up right now, but the last time when I asked, you said that it would be considered private use of a county vehicle.
now, if he comes from Big Wells to come buy a sandwich to go back, and then he does it on my time, well, I take that back, county time, I consider that an abuse, okay? But if he is here in town, and he comes to the yard, and he's close by, comes to the yard, he takes off at 12 o'clock from his workplace, and drives to the yard, takes him 5 minutes on his time, drops the truck off at the yard, gets on his vehicle on his time, goes to lunch, and then comes back at 12:50.
59.
12:50.
Okay, 12.
And because he's gotta take him 5 minutes to get to his workplace, and picks up the truck and then goes to his workplace, do you think that's a problem?
No.
So the question then becomes, is he using our time or his time to go pick up that sandwich?
This time.
No, so the question now becomes, the issue becomes, whose time is he on when he goes to pick up his sandwich, right?
This time.
Okay. So if it's his time, it's not a problem. You get that, don't you?
Yeah, but the problem is that the way I understood it, that's why I wanna clarify it. That when they leave their work site at 11:30 to go to lunch,
It's a problem.
It's a problem, where are they gonna go? That's a problem right
Yeah.
there, because I've seen it.
Okay.
And that's the concern I have, but if we, like I say, we all can do it, by all means, I'm for it. But if I'm the only one that's enforcing this thing, and
Well, you're an elected official, you can enforce the rules that you think you can enforce, but because somebody commits a crime and they do it, you mean you're gonna do it too? Well, no. Okay, so, but,
I guess we're all gonna go.
so my point is this, if that guy wants to come to eat over here, or eat in Big Wells, I would say eat in the closest place where he can get a meal, right? Then he needs to do it on his time, okay? So now the question is, if he leaves at 12 and he's in Diamond Age, he wants to go to Big Wells to go eat at the chicken there, the little chicken place. So, and he leaves at 12:15, he's still using our vehicle to come get something to eat, and then he's going back. So is that a problem?
My concern in all this stuff, when I brought it up back then, was the mileage and the personal use
There you go, now.
on the vehicle that IRS requires, because if they come in and they audit us, what are they gonna fine us with? Because they will go in and look at the records and see and look at the situation, what's happening and what are we doing and what are we recording. The hours, whether they do it within their time or not time, they're not gonna look at that. They're gonna look at, okay, you have people that are taking their cars home, you're taking your people, what are they doing during lunch hour, or are they recording it, and if they're having to stay wherever they're at. If that's the case.
Well, for our policy is, they have to stay over there.
Right.
So we're okay. Now, the only thing that and Commissioner, and I'm trying to tell everybody this, the rules are made there as a guideline. It doesn't mean that when we made that rule, we contemplated everything. Because we don't, we just make a rule, and all rules are subject to change. Even the laws are changed on a regular, every September, they change everything. Okay, so the rules are made as a general guideline. You know, if, like my scenario to him, even the IRS, if I'm going down the street and there's a restaurant is 10 feet from where I'm gonna pass by, now, do I have to say, okay, I went 10 feet and I parked in that first parking, then I walk to the restaurant, which is, does that rule contemplate that? I think it does not. So, you know, because obviously it's 10 feet, but it's still something that we should report, because that's what falls into his guidelines, or the IRS guidelines. So, but I'm saying, if you use that rule that we say, okay, if it's a reasonable distance, then we can go ahead and go in on our time, on their time, not on county time. But then you expand it to say, well, I think reasonable distance is from that manage over here, which is 30-something miles. Well, that's not what we intended. We intended, si estás en el Metroplex, you wanna come to the subway and get a sandwich, well, at 12 o'clock from, if you're at, wherever you're at, drive to the Metroplex, go pick up your vehicle and come. I don't have a problem with them using our vehicle for a mile or 2 or 3 miles here in town. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know that IRS has or does not have a problem, but how many miles can they drive in a year?
I think the point is, Josh, that I'm not saying when they're in the personal people, I don't care less when they're in the personal people. But we're switching it around now. You say, now, if they come, if they're in town and the vehicle is there, of course they can go. It's their vehicle, they can go, it's lunchtime. But what I'm saying is, you come to the fire station, okay? Their vehicles are there, okay? You come to the fire station, you pick up your money, and yet you see the truck over there at the place where they wanna go get the sandwich. That is what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, that's
the whole point. Not that they're going in their vehicle, not that they're gonna use their vehicle.
You missed my point. You missed my point totally. I'm saying that I think it's okay as long as they go from wherever they're working at 12 o'clock, not at 11:30, not at 10 till 12. If at 12 o'clock, wherever they're close to town, they get in their county truck and drive to their car.
To their car.
To their car.
Not to use the county vehicle.
Yes, so you
Okay,
see,
that's
to
what
their
I'm saying.
car, and then they pick up their car, and they can go wherever the heck they wanna
I
go.
don't have a problem.
Okay, then when they come back to their workplace,
And then.
5 minutes or 4 minutes before their lunchtime is over with, and then they drive from their workplace to where they're gonna work, so they can start at 1 o'clock. I don't have a problem with it, okay? But if they're gonna get there at 1:10, 1:05, I have a problem, because now they did not work 5 minutes that they're supposed to be working for the county. I'm saying that if that happens, then it is their duty and obligation to put on their timesheet, I started at 1:05, and then work till 5:05. Otherwise, they technically, in essence, stole 5 minutes from the county. So not only did they do that, when they signed their timesheet that says they started at 1 o'clock, but they started at 1:05, they committed a felony, because it's an execution of a governmental document by false pretenses. So those little things come into play. So,
I just wanna clear in on Tuesday or Thursday.
well, no, but it's not that simple, so, because we just went through the whole thing, and we just cannot say they do or they do not. Let me tell you one more time.
I understand all of that.
Oh,
I'm not that, I'm getting it.
okay.
But my question is, I can understand what you're saying, and I'm gonna use that to my advantage. Okay?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. If I'm gonna use it to my advantage, am I gonna be reprimanded?
No.
Because what you're saying makes total sense. I understand it. I get everything we're talking about. But to me, if my employee says I'm gonna go get a taco, and we're over there, and I say, yeah, go ahead, go to the yard, pick up your car, go get your taco, and then go back to work. Okay? It's still the same thing, because he's using that vehicle and company time to come over here.
No.
Let's say he leaves at, let's say 10 o'clock is your break. Okay? You leave the work site 20 to 10. You get to the yard. I don't know, That's what I'm saying.
Ya comenzaste mal, because no, that's not allowed. I already
Well,
told you.
lo digo, I'm gonna use it to my advantage, like I
Not-
say.
But that's not to your advantage, now you broke the rule.
So who's gonna monitor it? If we don't see it, if you don't see it, when you bring it to our attention that a certain employees or for to a vehicle, see it. Right?
I just
So who's
bring it.
gonna
That's,
dictate?
that's up to the elected official.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's to my advantage that I understood.
No,
Commissioner, it falls on everybody. It does. And it don't matter what you, I mean, it matters what you say.
I know it don't matter what I say.
No.
Because he's never been
No,
taken
it's not,
serious.
I didn't mean it that way.
Yes,
But
you
we're,
did. Yes, you meant it like that.
okay, don't talk over each other, come on.
Let me
let's go.
tell you what's going, it falls all on all of us, Judge, on all of us. And one is, instead of looking at what others are doing, start with your own. Start with your own, because I've seen it. And
How can
And
see
you,
it
and
if
you
everyone
can't tell
else-
me, I haven't seen it. I've seen it on these.
Well, you got a mouth, why don't you bring it up when you see it? That's what I do. Anything I see that's wrong, I bring it up.
Because we can talk to you, you get so hyped up and mad and all this,
I'm
you don't
not mad,
listen.
I'm saying, if
You don't
if
listen.
Hold on, don't talk over each other, somebody get the floor.
If you're gonna criticize somebody, do it right here, where I do it, right here where it counts. Not out there, hey, be talking.
Commissioner,
No one bring it here. Do it
Okay,
here.
now, is it true that I've seen, people fall to a vehicle? Yes, okay. Now, is it true that I do not know what they're doing at the time they're in the vehicle? Yes, I don't know, but sometimes I can guess by what I see. Now, if I see two people in a car, I don't know if they're going to a place where two people are required, so I don't say nothing. But if I see four people going to a workplace and they drop one guy off and then they take off, I can assume, and I know, and I can tell, because I'm a semi-intelligent person, that you had four people to drop off one guy and there was not a necessity to do that, then I complain. Okay, but I've seen many people double in a car, but I don't know what they're doing, and so I can't complain because it might be a legitimate reason. But when I can ascertain that I saw three people going to the restaurant to pick up a taco, I know that there shouldn't be three people going to pick up a taco. I really don't have a problem them picking up a taco, ¿verdad? Pero I do have a problem with four people, three people going to pick up a taco, okay? So that's when I say something, ¿verdad? But for the most part, because I see it all the time, every day, I see two people in a car. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know that it's necessary for two people to go. I don't know. But when I can ascertain, when I can find out logically that there was no necessity for more than one person to go somewhere, then I'm going to tell you, because I've done it plenty of times. And then the comeback is, well, yours do it too. Okay, and I said, well, yeah. And if you see them, and then if you can ascertain that my people didn't have to be together at the time that you saw them, you let me know and I'll take care of the problem. I'll do what you do, put them out to pasture for a bit, okay? But that's what I'm complaining about. But you see, but because I said, and then they said, well, you do it too. Well, I'm telling you because I saw one instance where four people did something that it didn't take four people to be doing. Okay? And that's, but I don't complain every time I see it. I just complain, and I keep telling people, I keep telling you, because what's going to happen? They see those two people. They don't say, "Mira, commissioner no está haciendo el trabajo." They say, "Mira, el county judge no hace nada," and I got nothing to do with it. Okay, so if and it's common sense. If two people have to go do whatever they have to do, I don't have a problem if they're together. But if two people do not have to be together in a car, please do not let them be in a car together. You get me? I mean, I don't know what else to tell you because we're all grown up. We took the same oath. Okay? And some of us do take it serious. I'm gonna say some of us don't.
But Judge, in reference to all of this, I did not say whose department it was for. I did not mention names, I did not say anything. For somebody to come back and say, they're fine or doing it. I don't care less what they think. But my point is, I just wanna clarify, I did not say no department, I didn't mention a department, I didn't mention an employee. All I'm saying is, give me a clarification of what's the right way to go.
This is what I would say the right way to go is, but this is my interpretation, and I don't know if they're gonna say that my way is still like it, because we still have that problem that vehicle has to be used from the work site to the, picking up their truck, okay? Am I that hard? No, I'm not, I try not to be, because, you know, it's very hard for our employees to be out there at 110-degree weather and then expect them to eat a hot sandwich when it's supposed to be cold. I got you, I mean, is the IRS that cold-blooded? Probably. So, you know, but if they're gonna catch me, because we did it one here, one there, one occasionally, do I care? I really don't, because it only costs a little bit, it only costs them, let's say they use that vehicle 20 miles in a year. At 50 cents, that's $1. Or $10, how much is it? $10, right? 50 cents. So you think that they're gonna go to jail for $10? I doubt it very seriously. So if they're gonna charge them 0.100 cent taxes for that, if that's what they want, orale, okay, what can I say? But this is the only thing I'm worried about is, I do not, because of the backlash. If you're gonna let your people come from Espantosa to come and pick up, it's 10 miles, okay? I really don't have a problem with it, but as long as it's not in our time. If they leave Espantosa at 12 o'clock, and on their time, they drive my vehicle, a county vehicle, for 10 miles to come pick up a sandwich or whatever, and here, there, and yonder, not all the time. I don't have a problem with it, I don't care, okay? I really don't care. And then they come back at 10 minutes before 1 o'clock, so they can be at the workplace at 1 o'clock. I don't care, I don't have a problem. But I do care, because I've seen it, and I've said it, that they're going at 1:30, they're going someplace to go eat. That's not acceptable, because they're gonna put in their timesheet that they left the work site at 12 o'clock, and they didn't, they left at 1:30. Now they've committed a felony. And when we sign those timesheets, guess what? We committed a felony. You get me?
Yes, sir.
Get me? Okay, so if that's the risk you wanna take, no skin off my back, okay? I try to do the best I can to take care of myself, and I'm sure that even though as hard as I try, I'm sure that we mess up here, there, and there. Okay? So, to answer your question, that's what I would do. Now, to answer his question about using the vehicle to go eat lunch for our people, we have certain people that have trucks because they respond to breakdowns, our janitors, our water operators, all those things. And now, if they take their car home, is that income to them? I don't think so. Okay. Now, for the most part, the people that don't respond to emergencies, they pick up their vehicles at the workplace. Which I got many people doing many things. That's what we do, and I'm sure that's what you guys do too. They go pick up their vehicles at the workplace. Okay. I don't think none of you guys should have somebody that takes their vehicle home. The only other people that take their vehicle home are the sheriff, because they're emergency responders. Now, he might have well, he's a commissioner, but if he was not a commissioner, if he was working for the fire station, if he took his vehicle, I wouldn't have too much of a problem, because if he's let's say he was the chief and he was not the commissioner, I don't think I have a problem taking the vehicle home, because he's gonna respond, he's not considered an emergency responder. Those are my feelings, but do they violate the rule? Probably so, but that's the general rule. And every little deviation from the general rule, we cannot find out what it is. We're not that smart. I'm not that smart. I don't know what you're on. So, but we try to do the best to keep up with the rules.
And I have 7 employees, 3 vehicles, so you're gonna see at all times, sometimes all times, 2 persons in one truck and 3 on the other truck. I have 3 vehicles, 7 employees. I have a 4-door and 2 doors, so
the locations, it's okay. I don't have a problem with seeing 3 people going to the, 4 people, 5 people going to the town. But I have a problem when they're not going to the locations. Cuando, for an example, your precinct is from, what your precinct line, but they're over there somewhere else, and there's 4 people coming. I have a problem with that, because they shouldn't be out there. 3 people should be working, and 1 person should be getting what they need. But when they're going in the morning, wherever they're going, I don't have a problem. I don't, because that's what I'm saying. I see them, but I don't know what they're doing, so I can't say anything. But if I see 4 people, like the one time I saw 4 people driving to the job site, and one of them got off, and the 4 people came back to town, it's very safe to assume that 4 people were driving one guy to the work site. There's no necessity. You need to take the other 3 to where they're gonna work, and then 1 person takes the other person to where he's gonna take up his truck. It's very simple. That's not very hard to do. So I'm gonna say something about that. Okay? And I did 2 or 3 times saying, and then they said, well, but come back, well, I see yours too. Well, no, but can you determine what I determined, that there was no need for 4 people to go out there? And the answer is probably no, so they probably just soften the road. Because remember, we all have a lot of duties and responsibilities. So, and even then, if you got 4 people coming in here, I don't know what they're doing. Because you go to a cemetery, so I don't know. So I don't say that. But if I make a determination that those 4 people shouldn't be there, you're gonna be the first one to know. Any other comments on this? And as best as we can clarify this, that we're all the same.
Yes, sir.
All right? Then we're not gonna take any action on 2.14. We're gonna move on to 2.15, which is discussion and appropriation concerning the monthly report from our Assistant Fire Chief, Mr. David Torres, for the month of March 2020. Do we have any motions?
So,
Motion made by Commissioner Rivera to approve. Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Do we have any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, same sign. That motion carries. 2.16 is approval to reinstate the burn ban. Mr. Carmona, Commissioner, what do we have?
We haven't done that much rain, so.
Thank you, Mr.
Things are
Mata.
starting to dry out,
Okay,
so we wanna see if we can reinstate the burn ban.
is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Any discussion?
second.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona and a second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Do we have any discussion? Then all those in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries. We have a burn ban. 2.17 is approval for tax assessor collective to hire a full-time deputy clerk effective April 28, 2020, transferring from Office of JPs 1 and 2 to fill position left vacant by deputy clerk to transfer to Sheriff's Department. There's a motion by Commissioner Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Do we have any discussion?
Is this a transfer?
Yes, it's a transfer.
Okay. Any comments, Ms.? All in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
2.18 is approval of golf course quarterly financial report. We're supposed to have this young man, but I think we're not gonna, he's not gonna be here, right? Because we suspended all reports in person until after that. So, yeah, let's follow motion, let's get a motion to table and just put them on notice that as soon as we have the 10, no more than 10 people to a venue, that we want him to come and do this report.
Motion to table.
Motion to table by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries to table this item. Discussion and appropriate action concerning the awarding the construction contract for the Refinery Road and Williams Road Improvement Project. What has Mr. Hale said about this? What do you got, Mario? Mr. Pereira, did you get to talk to him?
Yes, there's the,
JJ? Okay, and I guess JJ's done work for us before, so do you know if he was gonna recommend that we do JJ?
No, he talked to me this morning.
What did he say?
He said that, yeah, he was recommending J&J for.
Okay, okay, then you have that in the form of a motion, Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona to follow the recommendation of our road engineer and award the contract for this project to J&J Excavating and Materials Company. Mr. JJ Excavating Materials Company's bid is $1,150,524, and that's the lowest bid. Yeah, it was close, he beat out Dirt Boys by 2,000 bucks. Wow, okay, that means that we got pretty good. Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Do we have any discussion or questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose, same sign. That motion carries by unanimous vote. 2.20, approval to amend the personal policy for terminally ill employee. Okay, we have had several occasions where we have a terminally ill employee, and we have run with the problems of they use their FMLA, then they use, well, first they use all their
Sick leave and vacation.
what?
Sick leave and vacation?
Yeah, they use their sick leave and vacation, their personal leaves, and then they use FMLA, and they're lucky to still be around, and we cannot provide them with insurance because of our policy. So I guess what we need to do is amend our policy to read that anybody that is diagnosed with a personally, with an illness that is terminal, that once they exhaust their personal leaves and all their, what's the word I'm using, Carmen? Their benefits, all the benefits, then at that point that we consider them I guess an employee without pay. Consider them an employee without pay so that we can continue to pay their health insurance.
So,
There's a motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona,
Second.
and there's a second by Commissioner Valerie Rubalcaba. Does anyone have a question about this? Keep in mind that there's got to be a diagnosis of terminally ill. Once a person is not ill, so let me ask you a question. Once a person is no longer terminally ill, but they can still come back to work, what are we gonna do?
I didn't get the last part.
Okay, if, let's say that they're terminally ill, because they have, the only is the disease that comes to mind that's very prevalent is cancer. But they're in remission, but they still can't come back to work for another couple of months. So we still continue, I would say, continue paying them till the doctor says, you're free to come back to work, and then he says, I don't want to work.
Yeah, basically it would have to be up to the doctor to say, release you from whatever.
Are we in agreement? Is that what we kind of caveat, Maria, that make sure that if they're terminally ill and they go into remission or their problem is no longer there, then if the doctor says, you're free to go back to work and they don't come back to work, then at that point, they no longer.
What would you do?
usually the Medicare kicks in when that happens. They give you more, Medicare kicks in.
And that, we might do that into the personnel policy when the other insurances kicks in, then we're off.
Yeah, make it part of
Okay.
it.
Did we already vote?
Well, Judge, before you vote, make that part of the motion. If they have any other insurance, including Medicare, then, and they don't wanna come back to work, then, our coverage would cease.
That's what we're talking about. Once the doctor says, yay, you can come back to work, and they say, I don't wanna come back to work, then it stops. Once if they go on Medicare, then it's not gonna be we're not gonna make it a secondary.
Type of social security benefits,
Yes.
disability over there.
Law enforcement, we have,
Judge, I'm sorry, I need a motion in a second.
okay, we need a motion and a second. Well, I think we had a motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba, seconded by motion by Juan Carmona, and a second by Commissioner Rubalcaba, and all in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries by unanimous vote. Yes, sir, we have request and approval to hire Hugo Garza as deputy sheriff for Dimmit County Sheriff's Office. Is that the one for Robert Mendoza?
Yes, sir. That was.
What did we come up with?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
They've got their positions available.
Okay, I wanna approve it, but I didn't have an opportunity to look, I forgot about it.
No, we checked, we went back. Marion was kind of confused about it, we went back, we went, as 5 years, he's got the same amount of deputies right now that he had back then.
Okay, so,
Question.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you need a motion?
you know, well, let's have your question first. You might have a good one.
Is this the gentleman that's here?
No, sir, that's,
Oh,
different.
okay.
We also used to work with, I worked with him back with, Cando de Anda. He went to Tarrant County, he was in Tarrant County, the deputy sheriff's office, and he was with Border Patrol, he retired from Border Patrol, and he's back in Carrizo, he's married to Annie Gonzalez. That's what he is.
I didn't know there was.
No, sir, no, sir.
Okay,
Dave that Walker was getting, that's not what he's being paid, right?
no, he's gonna get the minimum pay, right?
Yes, sir.
For an investigator.
Yes.
He's getting the minimum pay for himself. Okay, now motions.
Motion.
By Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
by Commissioner Rubalcaba, we have a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries. Status reports, did you have, do you have any status?
No, sir, I believe it was the sheriff gave the last meeting,
Okay,
but I was gonna bring up, I have a proposal from Leeds, I believe y'all have approved it back with, sometime last year, but we never moved on it. It's, Leeds, it allows us to, check pawn shops, or we get notification from pawn shops. I don't know if you're aware, but we've been starting to have burglars, a lot of these companies are laying off, and,
okay.
I'll bring the proposal for the next, commissioner's court. It's prorated right now, because we're almost into the year, it's about $1,000, but the original one is like $3,000. But we used to have a police officer in Uvalde would help us out, but he's no longer there, so we don't have that anymore, tool to help us. But say you go and pawn something in a pawn shop, we get notification on that from our area. We're able to determine, you know what, we can, check, what this TV was stolen over here, or what was pawned was stolen. That's one of the tools that would help us a lot, beneficial, but I will bring it to the next commissioner's court.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Chris, can you guys do more patrol in Asherton?
Yes, sir, I will, because I know,
This week they've been going like crazy, stealing equipment, furniture, they're up to stealing furniture, now they're stealing stoves, refrigerators from abandoned homes. Last night at 4 o'clock in the morning, there was 2 people parked in my alley. So,
Call the cop.
I was on the phone call, I asked Chris, I said, if I shoot them,
Don't shoot.
they're in my property.
Go in your property, yeah, well, you can't shoot them unless you feel for your safety. Just call the cops. Let them shoot them.
It's getting bad.
yeah, we had the storages behind Walmart, 31 of them, they broke into. We did get one suspect right now, we have recovered some of the items, and we're waiting to pick up another suspect, but he's hiding, he knows we're looking for him. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, but we're gonna get a warrant to pick him up, but we were able to recover some of the items, but we got suspects.
Local people?
Yes, sir, local people.
All right, thank you.
We're counting lights outside the house, but it's getting bad. If you don't have any abandoned, if you have homes that nobody lives in them, please lock them up, put something in those windows, because they're coming into the houses.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Grants and planning, approval of basic preventive maintenance agreement with Austin Generator Service. Okay, this is, now we have, how many generators? 8 generators, and what is the cost?
24, 5.
Thank you so much. Austin Generator does 8 of our generators, and now it costs us $24,500.
Is that a year?
That's a year. And then Aista, los water, our water services, the fire station, the county jail, the courthouse, the arena, the tower, radio tower, and the water, Brandish water, and the Espantosa water, they all have generators.
Do we have to go with their company, or we put it out for bids?
We put it out for bids. Did we put it out for bids? No.
Well, I've been using this, I haven't put it up for bids. We've been using them,
When is
Super
that?
whiteboard.
When is that? Oh, through the whiteboard?
Yeah.
What? We try to cut it up, we try to figure out if we could do some of the maintenance, but no, I think it's better, those things are, or more, especially like the radio tower, the sheriff's stuff, we don't wanna, but we've noticed that because of our generator, now we don't have as many calls in Espantosa, Grandes, and we were down at the radio tower, we didn't know we were down at the radio tower, but the generator kicked in, so we didn't know that it had gone down, so, I think it's well worth the money. Any motions? Motion to approve by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Hurtado. Do we have any discussion?
Mr. Estrada, the annoying sound, the food, it's
When
like
they come to this, I think this month, I'm gonna give them see if they can adjust
adjusted
the
because
level, the field level.
it's a volume.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little too high, so they need to bring it down.
I walk by there and
It's a field level.
Okay, any other comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All that opposed? Motion carries by unanimous vote. Item 4.2 is approval to build in the existing R&B precinct 4 yard, 2 temporary storage buildings, 14 by 24, for the commodity, it's temporary commodity and office building in precinct 4. Like we mentioned before, those buildings are gonna build in such a way that we can move them. They're gonna be not on stilts, but they call them skids, right? Skids. They're gonna be on skids, and they're gonna fit on a low boy so we can take them whenever we finish the JP courtroom and your building, that we're gonna move those things around. We're gonna probably put one in the water wells in Catalina, so we can store stuff. And the other one is gonna be placed in probably in the park there, so that we can have the polling place. Okay, we're gonna take those monies out of the COs. Take them out of my COs. What COs? Just find out which ones, the monies that we have for the Catarina, for the Cheto projects, take it out of there.
Judge, are we building it or we're buying them?
No, we're building. We're gonna build them to our specs.
So,
Motion made by Commissioner Rubalcaba, seconded by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. 4.3 is discussion and appropriation concerning status report. Before you go with yours, Commissioner, I talked to Donato. We issued out a letter with the statement you gave us. I got a call from the owner of Summit. They've been in constant communication with Minor, the guys that installed them originally. They've been in constant communication with the builders of the doors. And as of yet, they never said they're not gonna fix them, but they've never said when. So I put them on notice that we were gonna sue Minor or the manufacturer, and if they were gonna come aboard with us, or did we have to go through them too, because we have to bring in Calzada, and we have to bring in Summit, but if they come with us, then we all three go against the door manufacturer. They think that the door manufacturer is gonna step up and bring in new doors, because they've come to the determination that it's not the installer's fault. It was not the architect's really fault, it was the doors were not properly manufactured. There's a defect. So they say that, Summit says that they use some of those doors in Ensenada, and they're having the same issues. So they're we're gonna see what Minor says, we're gonna see what the manufacturer says, and then we're gonna take it from there. Okay, I didn't wanna forget, I messed it up in public comments, but here's status report. What do we got?
Talk to Dan, they're closer to the permit being closed out on the landfill,
Okay,
and I think they're working on the one for the Catarina water.
The contract was already submitted to the auditor's office, so they can start on.
get closer up, so that,
The contract was already submitted to the auditor's office this morning, so they can start, on the invoices that Dan has submitted.
for what contract?
The contract for the Catarina,
Okay,
the water.
and that's what we're gonna replace those water lines, right?
Yes, sir.
On the
Okay.
standpipe.
And the stamp pipe.
Oh, we're gonna paint the standpipe and see what's in the inside, okay? You're gonna fix the valve too, right?
Yes.
So, the landfill, have we started looking for the equipment that we need?
We have a list that I got from Case. We just wanted to get a little closer before we start getting, the prices will change.
Before we get there, why don't you put the list together, send it to Case, and send it to 2 other people so we can have an indication on that.
What we're looking for?
Danny, I wanted to show you, we went to the rec center, and one of the urinals was leaking water, so we thought it was just maybe something we could fix, but it's the pipes in the back. So
it's in the chase?
Uh-huh, somewhere, one of these pipes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Are you done with it?
See, yeah, we're done, thank you so much.
I
Okay,
got some good news. I've been receiving emails this morning from Strack and from Tden. Some of our supplies are ready for pickup, so we're gonna send Gary tomorrow
okay.
to start picking up some of our supplies.
And what are we talking about when we say supplies?
I wish they would do it a little bit easier, but they're not. So right now, we have disinfecting wipes, masks, and gloves.
Okay, you already got some.
Yes, let me go back to that. The ones that we got the other day from Strack, those were supplies that I did not request. Those were actually thrown out there to whichever county wanted them for their local physicians. So I went ahead and I submitted an email to them saying that if they could consider Dimmit County as a.
So you did apply.
Well, I guess you could say I submitted an email saying that we were interested if nobody else was interested. We were one of the first counties that submitted a reply, so that's why we were able to, from one day to the next, go pick those up.
Okay.
Yeah, so those were not ones that I had requested. Now, the ones I have requested through my channels, through the Texas Department of Emergency Management, those are the ones that we're picking up tomorrow.
Okay, those other ones you got first, did you already distribute them?
Yes, sir.
So all the doctors got them?
All doctors, hospitals, and South Texas Rural Health, all our physicians in our area.
Okay, so what are these?
These supplies that are coming in are going to be for our first responders. I did for the first responders, EMS, I have a whole list.
So you're picking them up tomorrow?
We're picking up only some. They're only allowing us to pick up what we can get at the time because they're still replenishing coming
Well, are
in.
we picking them up tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So as soon as they come in, we'll sort them at the arena, and then we'll start distributing them. So little by little, they're coming in. I'm glad, because at first they were telling us that we weren't gonna get anything, so little by little, we're trying to get some.
All
The
right.
governor is going to have an announcement today at 2:30 on how we're gonna start opening the economy up for Texas, so that might be something of interest.
So, whatever he's gonna say, didn't he already start the process? Didn't he already say what he was gonna do, just do what we're doing basically right
Yeah,
now?
basically, because our stores are practically doing what we need to do anyway. This is basically for larger department stores, you know, that have closed their stores, like Academy, Kohl's, you know, those larger department stores. That's what's gonna change here. For us, we probably won't feel any changes.
Okay.
I don't know what he's gonna say about the restaurants, but from what I understand, on the conference call that we had with the governor on Friday, social distancing is here to stay.
Wasn't he opening the golf courses?
Yes, he did say golf courses could be open, but the clubhouses cannot be open and limit the amount of people per hole.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was open, and I believe the state parks as well opened about a week ago. Now, I know that they're having a lot of trouble because people flock to the state parks, but still, there's still rules and regulations and restrictions for state parks. You still have to wear masks, and you can't be in a group no more than 5. So I know that the state parks were having a lot of problems, especially on Concan, because the river was flooded with tubers.
The clothing stores, they're curbside, right?
Yes, clothing stores will be curbside, so you can go online and order from them, and they're gonna have like ship to store, or it's basically gonna be online shopping for right now.
So let me ask the commissioners this. If we can make it stricter than the government, but we can make it laxer. So if the governor says we can allow to open the restaurants, or does the Commissioner's Court wants me to do that, or my personal feeling is that we need to wait another 2 weeks to see what is gonna
I have
come
a,
out of,
now,
go ahead.
okay, that was something that one of on the call that we had on Friday, that was a question that one of the county judges had. And he said that if that was to go that way, because he wasn't giving us their yes or no on Friday, but he says if that was to happen, then now what they're gonna have to do is tables are gonna have to be spread apart. Only so many people per table. It's gonna be stricter rules, and they are revamping the rules for, the hand prepared, the people who prepared, the health department is implementing stricter rules now for the food
The
handlers.
cook.
Yeah, the food handlers and the waitresses, so that's all gonna be rolled into that package if he does, or when he does open up the restaurants. There
Okay.
are gonna be certain restrictions for them.
Judge, our order, because we approved it back in April 14th for 30 days, can we bring it back in May 11 when we have commissioners present? That way we know more or less how it's going. and
When do we have it for May 11, right? It's set for May 11 already. I said it there because it's gonna be, it's a little bit less than 30 days, but I wanted to have the opportunity, because I didn't think it by May 15, I thought by May 15 this is gonna change. But May 11, we'll have a little bit of indication what they're gonna do. So that's what I was gonna say. I was asking you because, let's say tomorrow they open it up and send some sort of regulation from the governor. Is your indication that we need to follow those, or, because I can pass my rule for 7 days and then you can overturn it in 7 days, the Commissioner's Court can do it. So, I got a 7-day window that I can do on the 11th, so that I can extend it to the 18th. But I won't do it if you all think that it's either we all either float together or we sink together.
I think it's too early.
I think it's too early, but I wanna follow my governor's lead, and at that point, if we have to open it, then I can change my executive order for 7 days, anyhow. Okay.
But that would be till the 11th.
Well, we're set till the 11th, I'm gonna leave it alone till the 11th, because we already put it. Now, if before the 11th, three commissioners feel that we need to change it, well, they can ask for a special meeting and we can get it done. But I think it's a little bit too early. I wanna see what's gonna happen with all these people going to the state parks, see how many new cases arise.
To the beach.
All these people going to the beach, see how many cases. Of course, the heat is helping us in that regard, because if you're outside and you touch something, more than likely the virus is not going to survive. So that's gonna help us, but still, the social distancing, if they don't keep it, it's gonna create a problem.
Also, I just wanna inject something. You might also wanna see what the city council's gonna do, because they also put out their own order, in case they do change things according to whatever the governor changes later on today. Just as an FYI out there.
Because yesterday they asked me if we were going to open the county, the city was gonna open, I said, I don't know. They said they're gonna have a city meeting, I don't know if they're gonna.
I think theirs expires on May 7th.
Okay.
Chris, whatever you guys pick up tomorrow, the masks, the Clorox wipes, the sanitizers, the first responders, which is SOEMS,
What
and
did-
fire department. Do you know when we'll be getting Clorox wipes?
I'm actually, what they told me right now, that's what I was doing. I hope you don't think that I was actually sending out a lot more requests. I was getting these requests and they started telling us to just go ahead and flood it with requests, so that's what I've been doing. Because now they're saying that there's a surplus because we flattened out the curve, so we're able, so what I'm doing now is I'm putting more requests in for us right now, and I'm hoping, it seems to be going faster. It took about 2.5 weeks. It seems now they're fulfilling in within about a week's time. So hopefully we'll get those as soon as possible, but as soon as I get them, or as soon as they let me know, I'll let you know.
We contacted Tito's, and we're trying to get,
Hand sanitizers.
hand sanitizer, 55-gallon barrel. So those little bottles that you all have, when you empty them, don't throw them away, keep them, wash them and keep them so that we can refill.
We also saw that they were giving HEB, was giving the first responders hand sanitizer. So I called HEB, so they said that we needed to contact Kat, one of the managers there, so
Okay.
we can get on the list to
Okay.
our first responders.
Okay. and it seems more now that it's kind of died down a little.
Yeah, now there's toilet paper.
Now there's yeah. So our supplies will be coming in pretty well. So what I did do is I ordered for each first responder, like for fire, they got their own, and for everybody. And then I did a big bulk order for Dimmit County. So. And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine.
I didn't mean to. How's have you checked on the?
Yes, I was out there this morning for testing. I was very surprised to say that we had a line waiting.
You had a line.
We had a line. Yeah, we've had a lot of people come in. I know it was short notice. When I received the information, they told me that I could only release it 48 hours before, which was, to me, I didn't understand it because that would have been Saturday morning and everybody's usually not at work anymore, so I released it early. I might get in trouble for that, but at least, I mean, what can they do? I mean, so I released it on Friday and we've had good results. Guys are out there right now if you guys want to go out there. First responders there, make sure your first responders do go out there if they want to test. They're going to be testing for first responders, all first responders. And I was surprised, we had a line. I was really proud.
And just for the record, for first responders, they're just gonna go test themselves.
Yes.
They're not.
So,
So that people will know that,
yes.
Oh, yeah,
because if they see us out there, they're gonna say, oh, they're.
Yeah, no, the captain of that National Guard unit, said for first responders to go ahead and.
First responders are gonna be tested whether they show symptoms or not.
Yes, sir.
And all others need to show the symptoms.
Yes.
Also, ma'am, I know it's probably not part of it, but McDonald's is honoring first responders
Yes, I
with
saw that.
meals,
Yes,
so at no cost.
yeah.
All you have to take is your ID and
A lot of good people are doing a lot of good things. That's the good thing.
We stand together, we
Yes,
fall
we do.
together, okay?
But like I said, once those other supplies come in, I'll let y'all know. I'll be calling you later on, Commissioner. to go get your supplies.
Last week, Sarah from Anthony called me because they had co-workers. And I told her to send us whatever, as much as cases as she had. But I didn't, because I didn't hear the bill, or this
No.
bill is.
No. Just, if you get a appeal, just go ahead and present it. All right, Chief? Yes, sir.
What's the status on, are we gonna get that guy or not, that, guy that was supposed to do the smoking, so they haven't been, then I reported back in, it's already some time.
Is that the homes? Okay. Is that what you're asking about, Commissioner?
Yeah, the home.
Okay. Well, I've got some sad news on that. You know how we've gone through GrantWorks? So GrantWorks reviewed our application and they denied it. They said that they're not making quote and unquote enough money off of it. So what I did is I turned around and I sent that out, yes, that's exactly what they said.
So Grant Works denied it, or the?
GrantWorks does not want to work with us.
Okay,
So I turned around and I sent it over to Middle Rio, to Conrad and Michelle, so they can pick up and run with it.
okay.
So that's where that is at this moment.
People were working on it.
Yeah, well, as far as the administrating part, yes, sir. But they're going to pick up the pace where Ken left off, and run with it, because,
My question was, if we find out we're gonna sue him or what?
oh, on Ken, that's another thing.
I don't know, y'all wanna go that route?
I mean, that guy lied to us, whoever lies, he needs to come up with a legit answer.
Okay, start getting the,
I have all the information upstairs.
well, get all the information from all the minutes and everything that we went through,
Okay.
and what we discussed, and
Yeah.
and then create a timeline of how many times you called, how many, all the
Well, I
emails.
have all my emails in
Okay,
there.
put it all together so we can send it to Donato.
Yes, sir. I have all that upstairs.
Judge, do we need to notify the clients that were ordered?
Uh,
Because I have several of them that have been going to my office asking me
Yeah.
when it's gonna be built. Because I didn't know they received a letter from him stating that they were gonna get their home built.
There were some letters, see, and that's where I've been calling some people, and some people have been calling me. Some people did get letters, some people didn't get letters, and then some people who did get letters are not even on my list.
Well,
So that's a big problem as
Get all
well.
that
So I'm
together.
writing all that down.
get all that.
And on Ashburton project, Derek and the law firm, the architectural firm are working from home. I emailed Derek this morning, I haven't checked if he emailed me back, so we're still moving, it's just a little slower because now everybody's working from
He
home.
had a timeline,
Yeah, so I emailed him this morning.
of course, because of what's happening, those timelines, because of the force majeure clause in there, all that is just the timelines are suspended for as long as there's the act of God, right?
But we're still proceeding, it's just a little slower. Sorry about that.
Because it's.
Oh, yeah,
I just wanna put it out for bids, and because once we put it out for bids, it's gonna take off. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? All right, 5.1 is. Another report from County Treasurer, Mr. Martinez. Thank you. Have any questions?
Get back to that.
I do want to mention something that, he's supposed to be submitting a quarterly report on the investments. And he's been doing it monthly, but he needs to do it quarterly, so the one that you've got right now, the investment, is quarterly, and he'll be submitting a quarterly report.
Motion.
There's a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona to approve the report that's provided by our treasurer. There's a second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? Motion carries. 5.2 is financial report from County Auditor, Mr. Carlos Pereira, for the month of March 2020. What do we have, Mr. Carlos?
I took basically our March 31st and extended it to the end of the year. At this point, we've already collected the monies necessary to run the entire year.
Okay.
So we're okay there, because I don't know what's gonna happen with the sales tax, with all the different,
So you're telling
revenues.
me that even, not even counting sales tax, we already have the money to run the budget?
Yes, and that is, let me qualify that, that's taking, not using the prior year, the jail that we were planning on doing, and catastrophic, we're okay.
Okay.
So we should actually have revenues over expenditures.
So our revenues over expenditures are in line,
Yes, sir.
and our investments, they haven't suffered a hit, right? 'Cause
No,
they're
and in
all-
fact, we were able to take a small advantage on some of the CDs that we did, as I say, earlier last month, and get a higher interest rate before they started to drop. So we
Okay,
took 3 million of that into CDs, additional CDs.
so still our financials like 15 million?
We're still okay, yes.
Any questions for Mr. Auditor?
Mr. P, has anything changed with your PO system? We've been trying to buy supplies, I know Mr. Garland has been trying, he mentioned it earlier, with our shovels and all that, and they tell us we can't, because it's not a line item in our budget.
No, we did make the correction on the supplies, operating supplies, office supplies, which is what the confusion was. So that one, we did correct.
So, if you're gonna buy shovels and stuff, then it's operating supplies?
Operating supplies, correct.
So we got a number for it?
Yes, sir. It's there. Yes.
Sir. For all the.
Yes, sir.
I've been, oh,
Judge, one of these days I'm gonna pull all my hair out, which I got some right now. Mr. Pereira, did you find out what really we're gonna do when we ask for a PO? I thought that at the meeting, we all had agreed $500 before we get votes,
Right.
okay? Go ahead.
But you were gonna ask more, okay, but you also need to do the itemization on the PO, so that basically everybody can see what you're getting. You can't do just the supplies.
My question is, are we gonna go away with the open POs then? How
That was- we were gonna put
am
on
I
Commissioner's
gonna
part.
justify that?
we're not gonna do away with the problem that I had, it was not real with the commissioners. The problem that I had first was, I got a PO that said, one item, 3,000, 1,000 bucks. Well, if that is the case, I need to know what the item is. But then I said, well, if it's an open PO, put the open PO or whatever, just so that I know it's not one item for 1,000 bucks.
No,
Okay, so, then you ask me, So then, I started looking at the sheriff's ones. The sheriff's one, estaban agarrando un open PO for $3,500. Okay, and iban y compraban algo de 600, de 700. No, wait a minute, no. The open PO is for the $50, the $100, the $25, $150, $200. Once you get to the $300, I want you to have a specific PO for that item. Okay? Now, if you go to the Alamo and you're gonna buy, if you already got approved a building, and you're gonna buy a lot of little things that add up to $1,000, I don't have a problem. You don't have to get a specific PO. But if it's one item that you go out there and you say, a zero turn, a tiller cost me $600. No, go get a specific PO, put it. I'm gonna buy a tiller for $600. But we need to keep track of this stuff.
Right, pero my question was because if I'm gonna buy something for $500, about $500, I need to get quotes, I understand that. Pero my concern was that was on POs, how am I gonna work that? And now you just answered my question that anything that's not over a certain amount,
Yeah.
we can get it. But when I ordered my tires, I had a hard time getting a PO. And then I told the young lady, they're on the body board.
The open PO?
No, for the tires, I just made the PO. She said, no, we're not gonna accept it until you bring a backup. How can I get a backup?
It's not that it's a backup, not that it's a backup, that you itemize the PO and say 4 tires of whatever it is. And then, so you can know, because you can't just put tires on there and do
Yeah.
$2,000 or $3,000. Then that's where, I mean,
But what I'm saying, they won't accept it. I put the estimate, okay?
They wanted an attachment like they told me. They wanted an attachment.
I put the estimate, but they wanna know how much, well, the estimate is telling you how much, more or less, how much is it gonna be.
when it's one vendor, like let's suppose the tires, okay, you just itemize the tires from Southern Tire Mart, I
Right.
suppose, and that'd be it. That should be enough.
In other words, because I get the PO that says tires, $3,000. I don't know if it's one tire, I don't know if it's 10 tires, I don't know if it's 20 tires, I don't know if they're tires for me or for you, or for who. So, I would say 4 tires for vehicle 10, 4 tires for vehicle 20, 6 tires for maintainer. And it totals $3,000. What are they? It sounds good, sounds reasonable, órale. Pero tires, $2,500. No, no. Tires for what? Okay, tires for the S10s would be good.
What the number on it.
That would be nice.
Well, basically, that's when she's asking, okay, attachment, as in, do you have what you're gonna buy? Like a quote sheet or something that's attached to it, because you don't explain in the front, so we need an attachment that basically has a quote of everything you're gonna get in there, and that'll explain it, and you don't have to fill out the front, but we need to know what you're getting, so we can, so that you can look at it.
know that this county judge has a big risk when you give me an open PO for $1,000. Because I don't know who's gonna buy what and for whom. And then it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000. Before you know it, I signed $10,000 worth of POs for open PO. Okay, and I don't know what they're for, so the more you put on there, it's easier for me to say, order. Okay.
And I'll just hypothetically, let's suppose the sheriff's office does for $3,500, but then they come back with $1,000 for one tire within that $3,500, and they've already purchased it, and it should have been a separate PO for that, not within the open PO. And that's the reasoning that they're coming back.
Yes, that's what started the whole.
Also have Yoli with the jail, she was under the impression, okay, like say she gets the bill for Cisco, what they order for 1 week, $3,500. She's under the impression she has to get a PO for, I mean, she can only do a PO for 1,000, so she has to
No.
get a PO.
For those items that's what I'm saying. If you give me a PO for $3,500 and it says for Cisco, me dan la lista,
Okay.
10 manzanas, 20 tortillas and all that stuff. Problem with it. That's what I'm saying. But if you're gonna buy $1,000 worth of stuff from Cisco, okay,
Open PO, yeah.
don't do it through an open PO, get a specific item. For the open POs is for the $50, the $20, the $100, and if you go buy 10 items for $1,000, well, just get a PO.
I think that's where she was confused, because she's like, I have to get a PO for 1,000, it's 3,000, so I have to get,
No.
3 different POs, so it's, I'm talking about it all.
Just the open PO.
It was that situation where something that should have been separate PO, not an open PO, within the open PO, should have been separate. So that's what caused this whole thing.
Use common sense.
My last question.
Oh, you sure? Oh, you?
Last question. Mr. Pereira, when we've seen our trucks to get fixed, how are we gonna get a PO if they won't check it, if they haven't checked it yet? How am I gonna, and once I take it over there and I try to make a PO, they say, no, I need the backup, but I still don't know what they're gonna repair.
Well-
And the people over there says, no, so what do we do? They won't touch it unless they have a PO,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
Just give them an open PO.
Yeah, open PO or an estimate,
But you just told
basically.
me you wanted a backup.
Well, but do an estimate on that, basically.
The estimate should be enough,
Yeah.
because that was our
But
argument.
you tell those ladies there.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they should give you their, ranging, on. We always go back and correct it if it isn't
Right,
correct.
but I'm telling
It's
those
not a
ladies
problem.
because I had a hard time getting that truck over there to get started. I finally convinced them that, go ahead and fix it and getting paid, Ms. Carmona will pay
No,
it.
I don't know.
I mean,
I guess that was a no.
Let me take my car then.
Okay, any other question for this young man here? Motion to approve the auditor's report. Motion made by Commissioner Rubalcaba, seconded by Commissioner Juan Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
All other opposed? Motion carries. 5.3, we have our claims. You all looked at them? There's a motion to approve our claims made by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. There's a second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. All in favor?
Aye.
All other opposed? Motion carries. We have the claim docket. Okay, the claim docket is in, let me tell you, we have the claim docket in the general fund in the amount of $605,878.71. With the airport, we have the claim docket of $3,149.74. The records management's county clerk, $471.03. The utilities fund in the amount of $44,504.27. The arena, $3,312.80. From our Stone Garden grant money, we spent $23,639.24. From the local border security grant, we spent $2,241.09. For Dimmit County payroll, we have $391,084.78. We spent from the CO 17, $59,491.73. From the COs 18, $145,489. From, in $6,101 totaling $151,590 for the expenditures on COs 18. And COs 19, $24,100 for a total of $1,309,463.39. Do we have any questions on those?
Judge, and there's 3 items on the utility department.
Okay,
I wanna see 2. One is for okay, so where do you get 44,000?
28,000, what's the 28,000 for, Carlos?
No, 44,000, if it's more than that, on the back, you don't have any leasing for that 28,000, is that the total right there?
No, that's part of the payroll.
Huh? You got the 15 and the 800, but I don't see one for 28,000. Is it a CO or what?
No, I don't think so. there on page, it's right there. It's payroll.
Why is it with the utilities way in the back?
Oh, because those are separate, the payroll is separated from the regular bills.
I understand, but we will, if he's needing, okay, got 28 there, and then if you look under the utilities, then it should be payroll over here, right?
No, it's money that coming from utilities to payroll.
You transfer it to payroll.
Yes.
Ya me bueno, 28,000, pero ya no había visto. Okay. Any other questions for the auditor? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Revolcado to approve the expenditure.
Second.
There's a second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Do we have any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All that opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is the Public Safety Facilities Corporation. We have only one item, which is the personnel and expenditures, and that's in the amount of $1,416.54. Motion to approve by Commissioner Alonso Carmona.
Second.
There's a second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All that opposed? That motion carries. We have one item left, and this is number 9, recess and adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All that opposed? Motion carries. We stand adjourned.